Hey guys, it is Dave Okoni, CEO of Econize-More. So before we talk about Econize-More, I wanted to start with a little motivation. So let's have it. There is no wrong with having a dream. Before we even know it, everything around us was once a dream. Some of these people were born with wealth, and others started from nothing. Others were in amazing locations, while some were from the lowest locations. You see, you don't need the best of luck to become big. All you need is a dream and yourself. Right now in 2026, we have fallen into the internet, and mostly we believe what's on there. What I'm trying to say is you don't need to be positioned to have success. You just need to believe in it. There's nothing wrong about being a believer of its own. But it's delusional. There's nothing wrong about being a believer of its own. But it's delusional when you get mad at others for not believing in you. Keep believing regards what others says. That's how you become who you want to become while being humble. I also have a dream. You guys know about Econize-More. That's been talked about a lot. I also dream to be a multi-businessman with many assets. To be honest, it's hard to say how it's going right now while nobody is reacting. But I take it for a positive note that's going well. I also dream of building a castle, not for royal or for fairy tale stories, but I call it a castle for the size of the design and inspiration where it comes from. I want my house to be as big one day. I know with project like mine, nothing is given, but I dream to be the giver. If one day you see this as a promotion, we'll all scream together, 2,000 a month to low income worldwide. But now, it stays a vision, and a big one. Know that if you think it's going to happen, it will happen. Believe in yourself like I believe in myself. To finish with the motivation, let's make Canada number one of... To finish with the motivation, let's make Canada number one source of economy through alliance rather than competition. Let's build product that will be in high demand through innovation and tech. Or in other words, intellectual technology. I tell you, Econize-More, as a worldwide tax collector economic business, you won't have to worry about expenses. Not only we give the amount, but you will receive charts on how to manage your finance monthly. At Econize-More, we live the Canadian dream. Everything takes time, but Econize-More will be ready. Let's work the Canadian dream. Let's fix the world. Alright guys, so as you know, my name is Dave Okoni, CEO of Econize-More. Right? So what is Econize-More? Econize-More is an economic business with goal to partner up with the government with the slogan of $2,000 a month to low incomers worldwide. So, where does the idea come from? Obviously, the idea comes from a lot of complaints that we hear a lot and I see a lot about. But to be honest, I'm just coming with a solution I believe in the future could take off. So, how would the process go? So, right now, we're not even the launching phase of Econize-More. We're in the presentation phase of Econize-More. Before we launch Econize-More, we're gonna prepare the people that Econize-More is coming through with promotion and stuff like that. And then we're gonna launch Econize-More. So what's gonna happen when Econize-More is launched? So basically, in tax returns, we'll kind of freeze everything, right? But we'll launch $2,000 a month to everyone equally. But that's not the end of it. That's just to start, right? Because what's gonna happen is that technically the economy is gonna crash, and we're gonna try to reboost it. And the only way we can reboost it is by starting to giving the payout. Okay? So while this happens, we calculate low incomers and high incomers and we take data. And also, I think I say it further in the presentation. I believe with the new system, we're gonna use Canadian product at its most when it comes to food, when it comes to utilities, when it comes to cars, when it comes to motors, when it comes to anything that we can use daily, it will be Canadian product. So we're technically gonna trap the importation and deportation system so Canadians can only buy Canadian things. But at the same time, we'll come out with new products. So we'll rework the economy, you know what I'm saying? But let me continue. So when we launch Econize-More, the first thing we're gonna do is freeze all the taxes, right? And give $2,000 a month to everyone equally. That you're high incomer or low incomer. That's why I say equally. Because after everything is calculated, the non-workers get their amount, the workers get their amount, and after it ranges, you know, from the amount you get, because we want to give to you fairly. And then there's the high incomers, the ones who range from 100,000 to 2 million. They actually receive 12,000 to 20,000 every 2 to 4 months. Then we have the independent workers. They make 3 million annually. They receive benefits. Okay? So basically, after we launch Econize-More and we start giving the money equally to everyone, that you're a high incomer, non-worker, or low incomer, we calculate our low incomers and high incomers, and we take data, and Econize-More will come with a new lunch, right? So after we've seen everything, right, the low incomers will receive 2,000 a month. The high incomers will receive 12,000 to 20,000 every 2 to 4 months. Disabled people and seniors will receive 5,000 a month. And plus, you know what I'm trying to do? Instead of having like Ontario Works and Quebec something, I'm trying to make Canada a whole. Like, you're a low income and that's what you receive. You're a disabled person, that's what you receive as a Canadian citizen instead as a province citizen, right? That's how you made the economy stronger. Right? And I continue by saying, for veterans, the amount, that's for the government to decide. You receive a mail saying how much you qualify for, and how to qualify tax returns. You need to do like what we you will need to report your tax every year until we have got all the data and we start with the project. Below 28 below 28 hours biweekly is a non-worker. They get $530 a month, right? So we're trying to reduce how we call this. I forgot the word for it. But we're trying to reduce people who don't have houses, and we're trying to give a chance to everybody to become an innovator and be financially free. You know, Econize-More is a big project towards that, right? I've talked a lot about the details. Now I'm just summarizing what Econize-More is, and the more and more I do presentation, I add more. When we go back, we're just gonna summarize even more. So that summarizes for the process. I had a detailed video about the process before, a couple months before, and that's how it is, right? So the structure is a plan of 5 to 7 years, like after the launch. So basically, right, how we're gonna do this, right? After we launch the Econize-More in Canada, we're gonna calculate if it keeps Canada stable. We're gonna see if people are more happy. We're gonna see people's choice into money, right? And if it does work, and Canada's rate is going high year by year, let's say 10 years from to 15 years from after we launch Econize-More. This is the presentation phase, but after we get into the launch of Econize-More, right? We're gonna start leasing our system to other countries, right? And if they want to copy with their own term, it is all good. But if they want to copy step by step what's happening in Canada, we lease our system. Which means we're not coming in and giving you Canadian dollars. No. You keep your dollar, you keep your everything. All you do is after each year, we want a report of if our system is successful into your country. So how does it work? How does the lease work? Let's say, for example, China was really impressed with how Canada is working the economic system, right? And they call us and they're like, "Oh, we know about where it started. We would like to have y'all explain to us how to be like y'all." We talk with China. We say, "Alright, we want to lease our system to you." China is a high income country, so it starts at 600 million a year. Alright? When China signs the contract that they want us to import a system into the country, each year for the term of the contract, they give us 600 million to prove that the money is rotating in their country, and the $2,000 a month to their people is being rotated into the system. They're not losing money, and they're making money for the citizen and their people, right? So, and how does it work for low income country? It's the same system. Just our price is lower. Instead of 600, we put it to 300, right? And let's say you want our buses, the look of our streets, everything that Canada's doing through Econize-More. Now we're talking billions, right? But before then, the flat price for a high income country is of 600 million a year in our lease, and a low incomer 300 million. That's how the lease works. So basically, we talked about the economic system, the economic business of Econize-More. How will it fix the system? It wouldn't fix the system for us, the elites. No, no. It wouldn't do that like that. But it would much fix the system for the people on the other side. Are we making our money? All the time. We're building, we're making innovation, we're creating, and we are putting the investment into a return, right? And with interest, it comes back, right? But instead of benefiting from the citizens, we make them trust us. That we're not about the money. We're just about a system that's clear. You know what I'm saying? So when we give $2,000 a month to low incomers, it's not like we're giving them the lottery. We're also gonna lower the prices of not houses but apartments and stuff, right? But let's say we give $2,000 a month to a low incomer, right? We haven't give that person lottery. Let's be honest. There's food, there's clothes, there's all these things to buy. But what have we done for them? We have given them a reason to trust us, right? And to, okay, they care for us. You know what I'm saying? But how do they get more? By making more hours and making more money. Let me give you the chart. Let me get into the notes. So basically, when I tell you low incomers make $2,000 a month, what's a low incomer for us? A low incomer already is someone who makes only 28 hours bi-weekly, right? For a period of 8 to 10 months a year. For a period to 8 to 10 months a year, that person is a low incomer. He's doing 28 hours bi-weekly. Alright? Now, let's say you make $150,000 a year, right? You become a high incomer. You're making $12,000 to $20,000 each 2 to 4 months. The higher the price, the higher the amount, the longer the wait of the month, right? And the closer to the 2 million, the closer to 20,000, right? Now let's say you're making 45,000 a year, and that person who's making let's say you're making 45,000 a year compared to a person who's making 15,000 a year. You are about eligible for 4,000 to 7,000 a month. Calculations just have to be made, right? It's all in my notes. You know what I'm saying? But right now I'm just summarizing. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the trust of the people, you know, because I believe that right now people feel like they're in chaos. They feel like there's no support, and they feel like the government is just trashing them. Me, I'm just saying, in the future, when it comes to a great point, right, may we give to them, right? Look, I know myself, I don't come from wealth, but the point is, when it comes to the turning point, let's be ready to give, right? And through a system, not through charity. So it's me. I think it is something that the people will be really joyful into, right? I just want to see. Okay, now I want to talk about the church, right? So what is the church, right? So the church is a non-profitable business of Econize-More for all religion in one room. We're not Christians, we're proactive humans, which means we praise the Holy Spirit. You can follow to my church to follow that. Alright? And yeah, we praise the Holy Spirit, right? And it's a mega church, right? It's not for so. It's a mega church accepting all culture and everybody's doing of this world, right? When it comes to offerings, we accept 25 cents to 50,000, and we give back $250 to $500 to people in debt after the sermon during the offerings. And that's about 8 to 10 million giving each service to 12,000 members minimum. I want the opening church to be in LA in the SoFi Stadium for Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 11 a.m. We only do traditional weddings, and we give a reward of 120,000 to married couple who married at a church. We also give birthday shouts and business shouts on the big screen of SoFi. So if you have a birthday shout or something like that, you just send it to an assistant, and we'll pick and choose what we put on the screen. Sorry. Goal is to have every stadium in America booked. You know, we want to have a wave, right? So we want every stadium in America booked, with a couple arenas in Canada and couple stadium for events in Europe and Asia, right? So that's for the church. You know what I'm saying? What can I add about this church? Yeah, it's about it, right? The church is one thing I believe is going to change a lot of people, and bring a lot of people into success. You know what I'm saying? But this is on the business of Econize-More, right? Also, there will be the label 1700 Breakthrough Entertainment with everything that the label needs to give, right? And then we have the tech company and Football State 50. But most importantly, what did I want to talk about? About the church, you can follow the wave on Twitter under Church of David 01, and you can you can follow the other videos I do under about for the church. So yeah, that closes everything, guys. You know. Last video I wasn't talking about the lease thing, but now you have again what's the lease. So like I tell you, Econize-More, $2,000 to low income and worldwide. This is David Coney, CEO of It's the Business, and sorry, CEO of this business, and have a good day. Peace out.